What is up, y'all? Welcome. Oops. Move my camera back. Move this. Welcome back, y'all. Welcome back to another live video. Today we are not ripping packs, not doing the rap, but rapping on Friday. Today we're gonna. I'll tell y'all when we're gonna interview in a minute after I talk about some things while we get Coach Kincaid to get on here so I can interview him. So, so we're just gonna. So we're trying to get him on here while I talk about a few things. Oh. The Seahawks football, we have a good start the season. The last game is against the Cardinals on Thursday night. That was last week over. We beat the 23-20. And then we got the Bucks on Sunday at home. And now Carolina football. We're back after the bye week. We're taking on Clemson on October 4th at noon. Open up the conference. Coming off our bye week. Last time we played UCF, we lost 34-9. But we're back on the field on Saturday at noon against Clemson to open up the conference. And then after the Clemson game, we have at California. Talk about some our high school team, JV football. I know JV don't have a game this week. I think John does not have a JV program this year. So yeah, we're just trying to get Kincaid to get on here. We're working on it. And then, yeah, JV don't have a game this week, but next week it gets at Chase. Not the final home, not the final away game, because we have to move West Caldwell to the 10-16. So the West Caldwell game will be our last road game, and then we'll be back home against East Burke. So varsity football, back on the field Friday. Homecoming week against Drone. I want y'all to be there, be proud, and be loud. And cheer on the Cavs on homecoming night. Alright, that's all I have. Let's see if we can try to get Kincaid to get on here. Let me fix my mic here. Let's see if we can try to get him on here. Well, my questions on here. I might say on my computer. Alright, let's see. We're gonna try to get him on here before we get started with asking him some questions.
You have something come up? Because he sent the request.
He sent the request. Hold on a second. My microphone's making noises.
Yeah, go to the bottom right there.
Hold on a second. My microphone's making noises. Back up. Might be backing up. Let me scroll through here.
Tap on the person.
There we go. Invite.
Okay, there you go.
Alright, should get him on here.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hey, buddy, what's going on?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Man, I'm doing good. I'm glad we got this technology thing figured out. So
Hmm?
that's good. Old folk like me, we mess it up sometimes, man.
Okay. All right. I want to talk about some questions here. Got a ton here. So, Coach, question number one: what is your earliest sports memory? Memory.
My earliest sports memory
Yeah.
is me playing baseball in the front yard with my brother. We did not know the rules. We saw it on TV. We was making it up as we go. I think I had unlimited strikeouts. I was making it my permanent picture. And my father came home from work and he decided that we were ready to play athletics. And he signed us up at Old Fort youth activities. And my first sport that I ever played was baseball.
All right. And who are your favorite professional sports teams and why?
First, I'll start off with baseball. The Atlanta Braves. That was my granddaddy's team. That was the local
Hmm.
team. Loved the Braves. I was in my formative years whenever they had that great run with Tom Glavine and those guys. It was Bobby Cox, the manager. It was awesome to watch. Basketball. I'm a big Hornets fan. Always been a big Hornets fan. Loved watching the Hornets played. I loved the old Charlotte Hornets culture where they dressed up and they went to the games. Football, the Panthers weren't around whenever I was a little kid. If they were, I probably would have been a Panthers fan. Crazy story that I was at their first playoff win whenever they played Dallas back in the day when old Deion Sanders, when Primetime played for them. My aunts, they had won tickets off a radio contest, and we got to go along with my grandfather, and that was a really awesome experience. But that didn't convert me. Randall Cunningham was one of my favorite players growing up. It was a guy that I idolized. Young kids, if you don't know who that is, look up Randall Cunningham. And I've been a Philadelphia Eagles fan ever since. Fly Eagles fly, go birds. I talk it up. That's my team, and the reason I cheer for them was because of Randall Cunningham. He was an amazing player. I used to try to do everything like him on the football field.
Okay. What was your favorite sport to play as a kid and why?
My favorite sport to play was basketball. I have a spiritual connection with that game. I loved it. It was my release. I could never get enough of it. It was a game that no matter if I was tired, no matter if I was feeling bad, I may not have felt like doing a lot of things, but I've always felt like playing basketball. And I just love the game. I love the complexity of the game. I love that it's the gospel's game. I love that, you can learn the game, you can share the game, you can teach the game. I'm from old school go hooping at the park culture where men used to hand down life lessons on the basketball court. Not only did they teach you how to play, but they taught you how to live. And I have a strong attachment to that game.
All right. And tell us about your high school sports career and what was your favorite high school sports memory?
My high school sports career, I graduated from McDowell High in 2002. I was a four-sport athlete. Very fortunate to have stayed healthy. Enjoyed my time there. Upon graduation, I graduated with breaking four school records in track and field. Um, my favorite memory, geez, JJ, man, I was blessed to be around some really great teams and some really great athletes and be a part of some really, really I can't pick one because we had a lot of success whenever I was there. But if I was to say my
Can't
favorite
see your face.
memory,
Take off your hat.
if I would say my favorite memory would be the time spent with my teammates. Those pregame meals, those times going out to number one China, before games, and just the random crazy things we did before and after practice. Those are my favorite memories. Miss the time with those guys and miss the bond that we had.
Okay. Do you have an opportunity to play any sports in college?
I did. I did. And shout out to Coach Craig McPhail, the guy who gave, me my opportunity, who made it worthwhile for my parents to say that, hey, like maybe this is something that you can pursue. And it was awesome. So I had a chance to experience college athletics on a lot of levels, on the small school level, on the large school level, and I also had the chance to spend college as a regular student. So I think, that gives me a well-rounded view as when I'm mentoring kids, because to play college athletics, you really got to love it. You work really hard. the one thing that you find out you either love competition or you find out you hate competition. Because in college, there's lots of competition. Each and every single day is like a game day, and I just really appreciated, that time and that experience, and it was an awesome time in my life.
Okay, how did you get your start in coaching, and why did you choose to coach?
Whenever I was done playing, Coach East calls me in the office and he says, "I want you to read this letter from your old coach." Um, and he sat down and he read it to me. And my old high school coach was very blunt. He was a very realist guy. He said, "Hey, don't accept Turner on this team because he's going to help you win basketball games. I think this would be a great opportunity because I really believe that he'd be a great coach." And that was the first time that it kind of rang that, hey, maybe this is, what I can do. Because at the time, I knew I wanted to do public service, but I was tweeting around with politics, I was tweeting around with law. I had a real strong interest in those, but that really wasn't where my heart was. Still have some reserved feelings about that. Big shout out to people who can do that for a living. That just wasn't me. But public service through education-based athletics opened up a brand new door. And I got started at the Hayes Taylor YMCA and at Greensboro Day as an assistant middle school coach. And from there, I just worked my way up. Um, we'll talk about him a little bit later, but I had a son and figured I need to make a whole bunch of money. And for 3 years, I was miserable, but I was able to move back home and jumpstart my career and start. I was very fortunate to be able to start all over. And I started over where I started in Greensboro. I started at the McDowell um, corporating YMCA and started off in the rec league. And then from there, it just grew. I went to every clinic that I could go to. I doggone worked crazy. I ran organizations. I probably drove, people crazy. Like probably drove my neighbors crazy. There were kids running all up and down the neighborhood, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. It's been an amazing ride.
Okay, and can you tell us about how you came to East Rutherford High School?
Yes. So when opportunities were arising and I was eligible to teach, um, at the time there weren't any current openings where I was currently was at. And a friend had reached out and he said, "Hey, uh, I would like for you to check out East Rutherford." A lot of people had reached out and I'd said no. Interestingly enough, JJ, is that I always said that if I was ever going to leave home, there would be two places that I would go, and East Rutherford was one of them because I remember us having all out classic ball games, man. Just the ball players that were here, just the culture that was here. It was something I was drawn to, and I always said that's a place that I would like to be. And whenever that opportunity came, I met up with the AD. I met up with Principal Torvinen, and we started talking, and then about a couple of weeks before I accepted, I just started to peruse around the town and hear the community, and I got the good, the bad, the ugly. No one knew who I was. No one knew what I was coming there to do. Um, and really, I made a decision that I felt confident in that this was going to be the place that we was going to restart, not only for me, but for my children, that this was a place where we could not only come, but come and thrive. And I haven't regretted decision to be an East Rutherford Cavalier. I know I didn't graduate, but I very much well bleed red and black, and I love it here. I love the community here. I moved down here. I love the people here, and it's been an amazing ride.
You coach football and basketball. What is your favorite sport to coach?
My favorite sport is basketball, but when it comes to coaching and when it comes to small town athletics, I'm not either or. I'm a coach. I've coached track and field, I've coached football, I coach basketball. I've used the same approach with each and every single one of my sports. I haven't reserved something especially for basketball. If it pops in my head and I think I can use it with y'all on the football field, I use it, doggone it. and and if I could use it in track, I use it. Now, basketball is my specialty. However, I think that I become a better basketball coach by coaching you guys on the football field because it's different and it stretches me. It's outside of my comfort zone. I love it whenever I was coaching track because it stretched me. It was a place where I could build relationships with athletes. So I think they all intertwine together. And me being a competitor, man, I want to win them all. Like when East Rutherford goes out there and if we're playing badminton, by gosh, I want to win. Like so, I love all of the sports. I love supporting kids in all our extracurricular activities. I think being in education-based athletics, that's kind of the mindset you have to have. I would love for each and every single one of our athletes to play 3 and 4 sports because I believe it makes you a better person. It makes you more well-rounded. It makes you a better athlete. You're held accountable 24/7. And you not only do you get to listen to different personalities, you also get to experience different people in different phases. Because Coach Kincaid, the football coach, is a little bit different than Coach Kincaid, the basketball coach, and he's a little bit different than Coach Kincaid, the track coach, because of the problems we're trying to solve. They require different solutions, and I believe and all of them are different than Coach Kincaid, the teacher. And I believe seeing that, and that's the beauty of being at a small school is that everybody gets to experience that, and we get to experience each other, you know, in different lights and in different places. So that's I can't choose as a coach coaching my athletes. Man, I love all my athletes. When you suit up and when you wear an East Rutherford uniform, when you wear a Cavalier uniform, man, like I can't choose. It's too many good things happen, and I'm very proud to say that I've been a part of 2 rebuilds here, and it's been awesome. I was here when times weren't very good, and now I'm here when times are really good, and just watching us grow and watching us become a more tighter knit community. Man, I can't choose between the sport. I love them all. If they had me coaching swimming, I would love that as well as the other sports I was coaching.
Okay, your son Jalen is a standout for East football this year. You must be proud of him. Tell me about the experience of coaching your son, and what do you think the future holds for him?
Coaching your son is a unique experience. Um, on the field, it's very intense because I believe that you know I'm coaching somebody's son, not just my son, and I can't hold other players accountable if I don't hold him accountable to the highest regard. So on the field, it gets intense sometimes, but when we get in the car, when we get home, we don't talk about it. We're talking about R&B music. We're talking about TV shows. I'm yapping about what are the Panthers going to do this weekend. I'm teasing them about Bryce Young. We're doing anything but talking about what went down on that field. But being on this ride with him has been enjoyable. Um, being on this ride with him and his senior class has been, it brings a tear to my eye. Like just watch these kids grow up and seeing them accomplishing the goals that they're accomplishing. And JJ, if I tell you anything worth a lick of sense, I'll tell you something that I heard the other day. The only man that'll probably tell you that he's proud of you, and really, really meaning it, would be your dad. So I was proud of him the day he first started walking. I was proud of him when he pooped in his diaper, and I'll be proud of him as he goes through his peaks and valleys of becoming a young man and hopefully an old man.
Tell us about your other kids who may be in the East Rutherford sports pipeline.
Yeah, we could have we could have about 20 years of Kincaids at East Rutherford. I'm excited. The other one is my middle son, Brees. He is a seventh grader at East McDowell Middle. He came to us last year, second semester, and he's adapted well. My baby boy, Kellen, he is in second grade. He's at Glenwood Elementary. He hasn't chose, but his older brother Quincy chose, to come down here and be down in East Rutherford. And I'm hoping that he'll do the same. He'll see that the opportunities are really good. And I got little baby Berkeley, who just turned 1. She just figured out how to walk, but she has three older brothers, and she, she picks up a whole lot, and she lives in gyms and on ball fields. So I hope that, that we get to see her come along too. So those are the other youngins that's around and that's hanging around, and hopefully, their experiences will be as good as Jalen's experiences, because I saw him really blossom whenever we moved down here. And that was one of the things you worry about: new kid, new community, how's he gonna do? And he's adapted well, and just he's just been around an awesome group of kids. Can't say enough about the kids who he's going to graduate with. Just amazing young men and women who are going to do really good things. Cavaliers are going to be doing really positive things around the world here soon.
Now let's talk some football. The Cavs are off to a good start this year. What do you like about this team, and how far do you think we could go?
I love this team's competitive heart. um this team has a competitive heart, and what I mean by a competitive heart is that, competing isn't just what they do, is who they are. They have immediate competitive responses to adversity, um to things getting sticky. They always respond competitively, and they don't quit, and they keep scratching. And if we have bad days, we try to come back to next day and we try to stack a good day. And if we have a good day, we try to stack it with another good day. And I just love that competitiveness that they have, and that's the tone that's being set. um the intensity these guys have in the locker room is something that I've always noticed, how they're always ready to go. How far we can go is how far our sacrifices are willing to take us. If we're willing to keep sacrificing the small things, that in the small enjoyments that students make every single week, that we have to sacrifice to prepare for Friday nights. If we keep making those sacrifices, we can go really far, because we have competitive heart and we believe. And and we've been when you make these runs, you got to get to the hump, and then you got to get over the hump. Getting to the hump is easier. Getting over the hump is a little bit more difficult. And that's something that we're learning how to do now, is we're learning how to get over the hump. And, you're there. It doesn't always look pretty. It ain't a fairy tale, but what it is that you see kids each and every single day don't give up on each other, don't quit, eat together, pray together, play together, just they get in class in trouble together, and then they run hills together. And but every response that they have, good or bad, they have a competitive response, because these kids really got a competitive heart. I mean, big competitive hearts. And that's something that people, that they got to deal with, down the road. And there are other great teams, and there are other great programs. I don't have the luxury of being around them, but I do got the luxury of being around our guys every day and seeing the work that they put in. And as long as they're willing to sacrifice, as long as they're willing to keep those blinders on, they'll have good things in store.
Do you think there is anything that makes East football special?
Man, it's crazy. I thought about this. And the best analogy that I can give is that East football is like a really good barbecue spot. Like, you hear about it, the food is great, like it's like man, it's amazing. People rave about it. But when you go to the restaurant, you look around and it's just like, this is where they make this great food at. You would think that from the outside looking in, that we have the finest of equipment, and we have an abundance of resources. And and really what we have is we have a community who cares. And what makes food good isn't necessarily if you got that brand new smoker or not. What makes food good is that you got that smoker that you know, and that you prepare the food with love. And our product we prepare on the field is prepared with love. And I think that start with the president that's set by our administration, and then our community leaders, our boosters. It is evident that they love our kids. It's evident that they love our coaches. They're always proactive in doing things for us. And man, that's what makes it special is the love, because we don't have everything, but we have each other, and we produce a really really good product that I think that right now people are getting to enjoy and that they're getting excited about.
Who do you think are the players to watch the rest of the season?
Man, they probably won't even get to watch them, but every day they're making us better. The boys on that scout team, offense and defense, they're pushing us and they're giving us a level of competition that we had last year in practice. Those are the guys. Those are the guys to watch, because a lot of those guys will be wearing jerseys along, along down the line. And I think the way that they act is, that they want to be introduced together. But the guys on the scout team helping us prep each and every single day at practice, not conceding, but competing. Not saying that, oh, I'll never win that job, and saying that, man, you're gonna have to outwork me for that job every day. Those are the guys to watch out for, because a great many of them will be back next year, the year after, and the year after that, and they're gonna be special to be around.
What do you think are the strengths of our coaching staff?
Ooh-wee. Man, we're a relatively new bunch this year. We've had to replace some guys, we've had to add some new pieces, but we we are really gelling. And the strengths of this coaching staff is just our ability to learn and adapt. We have had a strength and conditioning coach who we've made a defensive line coach, and our D tackle play has risen each and every single week. We have a head coach who calls offense, and now he coaches linebackers, and we're all so adaptable. I can go to safety, go to receivers, and it's a big think tank, and again, we have that competitive heart too. Like our coaches meetings, they're not sweet. We're challenging each other. And if we're not challenging each other, we're telling each other, man, what's going on, man? You ain't challenging me right here. What's the deal? And that's the strength of that coaching staff, is that what we lack in experience. Um, we have in energy and effort and 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 passion. So we're putting all that in, and we're starting to see some dividends, and can't wait to go to some clinics with these guys in the off season, and continue to get better.
All right. Give us your best Coach Russ impersonation or favorite Coach Russ line.
JJ, I don't think that I can give a Coach Russ impression, but if here's the thing, if we don't act crazy in the classroom, and if we don't run around the hallways with little baby boo boo, we could really be something. We could be behind each other. We could be a family. We can love each other. But we cannot get distracted. We cannot get distracted. And I told my coaching staff that I was only going to talk for 5 minutes, and I know that we're on the 18th minute and we're almost at midnight. But this is something that you really, really need to hear. Um, I can't do a Coach Rush impression. I'm not a comedian, but his energy is infectious and contagious. My favorite Coach Russ line is family. Forget about me, I love you. That's something that he really embodies, and that's something that he lives. He'll go to bat for any one of his coaches. He'll go to bat for any one of his kids. And he's also not afraid to tell us, and to have the tough conversations of, hey, do do you see what you did wrong right there? Or, hey, if you dial down you, I'll dial down mine on my end. And it's all out of love, and you're able to have those intentional conversations when it comes from a place of love. So um just it's just been a pleasure working with him, and it's been a pleasure with us growing. We're two very big personalities in the same room, and a whole lot of times you see that clash and you see that rival, and we figured out a way to make it work. And we feed off each other. It's been a good ride, but my favorite Russ line is it's family. Forget about me. I love you. And that's something that it's something that I've adopted when, I don't have to come up with it for it to be good. And that's really doggone good. And that's something that I've taken, and I've weaved it in each and every single one of our things. And even though our pillars are a little bit different for basketball, it still have those traces of, man, it ain't about me. It ain't about, it's about us, and it's about what we can achieve. I am who we are. And then that's why I say the players to watch out for are the scout team guys, because those are the guys who are preparing us and getting us better and making sure that we're ready to go. These big games don't happen without guys stepping up in practice and having complete ownership of their job. So, and that all ties into family. That all ties into everybody's important, everybody's valued, everybody's seen. So, now that's probably my favorite, Coach Russ line.
Okay, this is gonna be the last question. Tell us about who Turner Kincaid goes home to.
Man, I'm pretty sure that she would probably be more interesting to interview than me, but I go home to one of the most caring homes, caring environments each and every single night. And that's all led by my wife, Katie Kincaid, and she ensures that she's the household manager whenever I'm off doing all these wonderful things with y'all. She's making sure people's getting ran back and forth. She's making sure that dinner is on the table. She's making sure that I don't forget the thousand things that I'm gonna forget, because I'm gonna forget, like, especially if I didn't write it down. And she's just so helpful and so genius in the ways that she keeps this thing running. Like, that I can't do what I do without her doing what she does. And she makes sure that that I come home to a peaceful home each and every single night, and a fun home each and every single night, because we have a lot of fun in the Kincaid household. We do a lot of cool things. So that's what I get to come home to. Even when I get there at 9 o'clock at night and have to wake back up at 4:45 to be out the house by 5:15 to open up the gym. But I come home to an amazing home that I don't want to leave.
All right, that's all the questions I have. Any final thoughts before we hop off this live video?
JJ, I had fun, man. I had fun, and I can't wait to watch Sweet Rips on Friday night. We got homecoming this week, so everybody who's coming back to East Rutherford and coming back to Forest City, come to the game, be loud and proud, come by and talk to us, show these kids that you're there, and just you know be there and enjoy the homecoming festivities. It's going to be a really great homecoming. We're going to have a lot of fun this Friday night.
All right, that's all I have for you.
All right, buddy. Well, I'm signing off. I'm going to get on home now.
All right, see you, Coach.
See ya.
All right, that's our interview with defensive coordinator of East Rutherford, Coach Kincaid. That's all the interview with him. Thank y'all for tuning in on this amazing interview. And don't forget, join me next live for my wrap up on Friday night. As Kincaid said, we had drawn on homecoming. He said, be loud, be proud. Hope we can pack the stands, maybe. So, yeah, that's all I have. All right. Thank y'all for tuning in. Join us on Friday for a wrap up after the game. Thank y'all for tuning in. Hashtag Sweet Rippin', and see you on the Friday night wrap up on after the game on Friday night.